Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to Below the Line, the show about how movies are made. My name is Andres Ramirez, and I'm here with my good friend and co-host, Mr. Zach Houston Scott, to celebrate the King of Pop, Michael Jackson himself, with the release of Michael, directed by Antoine Fuqua, starring Jafar Jackson. What did you thought about it? Or I guess we're gonna talk about it. How are you, Zach?
Hey, doing pretty good. Doing pretty good. I was going to say, wow, we're jumping into it already. That's incredible.
Well, no, I sort of, he's the king of pop. I sort of feel we have come from a dry month of non movies, at least in Mario, at the very least. No, I'm not suggesting we should start there, but it's a huge movie, I think.
Oh, yeah. No, as we're recording, the box office numbers have come in and it's already done over $200 million worldwide. It will pass 100 million in US and Canada tonight, becoming already the highest opening for a biopic in history. So that's just incredible. Like Michael Jackson's talents, even after all these years, are still, what would you call it?
Unmatched.
Influential. Oh yeah, unmatched. Like this guy is just on a whole other plane with everybody.
Yeah. I mean, despite being a very controversial movie because of the whole critics versus fan reaction, yet again, the
Yeah,
critics seem to be invested in fighting a war with the audiences when movie theaters are struggling to fill themselves in. Like, you know, it almost feels counterproductive to review a movie that you know is going to make money poorly for the sake of artistic merits. Like, I don't know. I think there's like a fine balance of could a review actually hurt the film industry or help the film industry, if you know what
yeah.
I mean.
No, I do. But the road to this movie was also a little rough because it was announced like as early as
2019.
2022. Oh, 2019, true. Like when it first was coming into fruition. And then just so many rewrites, legal hurdles. Like the whole third act of this movie had to be redone because of, well, just a court case indicating they couldn't reference or mention the name of the victim in the 1990 abuse allegations that he had. So, in my opinion, I think that does help the movie a little more because I think everybody's joked about it, everybody's referenced it to death. Like, it's just time to kind of move on from that, in my opinion. And more or less, even as this movie's coming out, there's still people trying to victimize themselves, especially after post leaving Neverland. And I'll just say right now, I was never more or less in agreement or didn't believe the allegations. Were they fun to talk about? Absolutely. But I just think this is a guy who's done too much goodwill for him to throw it all away and was just constantly attacked by the media and just people looking to take from his
Scapegoat
success.
him.
Oh
Just,
yeah, scapegoat
yeah,
him because they were jealous and more or less he suffered for it because all he wanted to do was just better the
save.
world and through his music I think he did that. Like if you look at everything he did in the 80s and 90s, he really did want to make things better for everybody. So but make that as you will. If I can totally see the other argument. The only thing I'd argue that people are right about is his denial on his plastic surgery. It's clear that he definitely did do a lot more than just a nose job, like later in life.
Well, it's also interesting because I think the film, I don't know if the criticism is fair because the film ends before the allegations happened.
Yeah.
Like the film doesn't even really tap into his drug addiction,
No.
because that happens during the allegation time in the 90s, right? So I think this is more weirdly it's like a coming of age film, if you know what I mean. But I think should we speak about Michael first or should we just dive into the film?
I think
Even though
it's
you
important. I think it's important to talk about him first before we dive into the
okay,
film. With that being said, there is so much to this movie that does skip over. Like it skips over his whiz time. It skips over a lot of off the wall, apart from his first recording. It skips over a lot of like his childhood, especially with more of his relationship with his dad, his brothers, and his mom. This movie does explore that, but it's definitely so much of his life can only be told in a 2 hour running time, especially for his rise and eventual breakaway. With that
Also,
in mind,
to add to that idea, if you know Graham King, the producer, you know his style of biopics.
mhm,
It's very similar to Bohemian Rhapsody in the way it tells a story. Like it's almost like a Wikipedia article, but when you have really good songs, do you really need more detail?
yeah, and a great performance to add to
Yeah.
that. But no,
So it's
yeah,
that style. So if you like
but
Bohemian Rhapsody, you will like this for sure.
definitely. And I mean, even the ending of this movie, like, there is still more of it to tell. But with that being said, I do think as an artist, he is just so inspirational and impactful with his humanitarian aids to like heal the world. And I mean, he
Yep.
does a lot of, charities. He donated, he was involved in the AIDS campaign in the 80s and 90s.
He's
He was
still
involved.
donating.
Oh yeah, his company, his estate is still donating. Like, this is a guy who gave a lot back to, because he never got that. He had to work all the time. His dad forced him to perform with his family. Like, they were not a
Jackson
family
5.
per se. Oh yeah, the Jackson Five. They were co-workers, and he was the boss. He ran the family because he wanted them to profit and make money. And yeah, you could argue he was a tough dad who believed in profit over his family, but I think he legit too wanted what was best for him. Did it mess up Michael Jackson later in life? I think so. Like, this movie does explore that aspect a little bit, and how, he doesn't have friends. He has like animals as his kind of people he or things he hangs out with. He hangs with kids. He prefers to be alone when he's doing his music. Like, he's definitely more isolated than this. Considering the guy could not have a private moment in his whole life because tabloids and paparazzi were constantly
Oh boy.
exploiting and getting
And
up in
this
his face about everything.
and this was before Twitter and social media.
Yeah,
That would have been crazy.
a different time, more or less.
Yeah. I mean, it was TMC, but TMC light, if you know what I mean.
Yeah,
Like in the
exactly.
sense that it was TMC with a camcorder and they still had to go to the office to post it. Now it's like TMC on asteroids, because they just use the phone and they can publish it immediately.
Yeah.
Sure, they can even live stream it if they really wanted to.
Oh, 100%. 100%. Like, this guy nowadays wouldn't have a private moment in his whole life.
He probably wouldn't live in Los Angeles anymore.
No, well, actually, he didn't towards the end of his life. That I thought was pretty fascinating. Like, after his second abuse allegation, he left Neverland and never came back. So it's pretty sad when you think about it. Like, he just was kind of forced out of his own home country.
Yeah, interesting.
Hmm.
So let's talk about his artistry.
Oh,
So
yeah.
obviously, were you a fan of Michael Jackson, or did you knew his songs and respected him for who he was?
No, I like his songs a lot. I think Human Nature is one of the best songs ever written. Anything from Thriller, Bad, Off the Wall, Dangerous, History. I think really the only album I didn't care for from him was Invincible, his last one, but I know it was pretty
Mm,
undermined by Sony at the time. But just like, honestly, you could argue that he was a major breakthrough for music videos and
I mean,
the
for sure.
artistry, especially getting them onto MTV and really elevating the art form. Because before, music videos were just the band playing, like, there wasn't a
Yeah,
story to
yeah, yeah.
them. It was just, oh yeah, here they are, they're doing this. But when he came out, when he released Thriller, when he released Ghost, when he released Beat It, those had like little prelude stories beforehand that
Well, there were
then played.
short films.
Yeah, they were short films, and they were entertaining short films. Like, you could quickly catch on. He even like did a compilation of them with Moonwalker, like Billy. Oh God, what's the song? I'm trying to remember. He's with the trench coat and everything.
I know which one you're talking about. I mean, to add to that
Smooth
idea,
Criminal. Smooth Criminal. That's what it was.
they were even directed by top directors at the time. I mean, Thriller was directed by John Landis.
Yeah.
He was Steven Spielberg's best friend until the accident of the Twilight Zone,
I
but
know.
he was a hot director before that accident.
Yeah.
He was like top three directors working at the time, and arguably you could say Thriller to these days the best music video of all time.
Yeah. Well, that was directed by Martin Scorsese, so like this guy had some of the
Scorsese,
yeah, he directed Bad.
really? I didn't
Yeah.
know that.
Oh yeah. David Lynch, he directed no, David Fincher directed a music video of his. Who is it? Like this is a guy who had the top directing talent make these music videos. Spike Jones worked with him. Like
I mean, that makes more sense. Spike Jones makes more sense.
yeah.
I know Brett Ratner also worked with him a lot.
Yeah. Stephen
In
King worked with him too. Like Brett Ratner, it's crazy. Like holy.
whoa, he had like every Hollywood director wanting to work with him.
Yeah.
I
Like
wonder
but
if Scorsese worked with him to get a song for his movies or something.
maybe. I mean,
That just doesn't seem the type of thing that Scorsese would want to make. But I
no.
mean, I get it's cinema now. That music video,
Yeah. Now it's cinema.
that the meme.
um and then like his sponsorships with Pepsi, he did work on a Sonic game back in like the 90s. Like this guy had a hold on every single form of
Media.
art and media, like just concerts, plays, live shows, just everything. Like I have to respect it. This is a guy who was an auteur. I know kind of people like to say Taylor Swift is the modern
No, no,
day.
no, no, no,
No,
baby.
God no. That's what I wanted to say is that
Well,
you cannot match the level that this guy had.
she is in a way a follow up, but without Michael Jackson, you don't have a Taylor Swift. I mean, and look,
Exactly.
this guy controlled everything in his discography. Like he owned all his catalog. Heck, he even owned the Beatles at some point of his life,
Yeah.
right? And like Taylor Swift, to a certain point, she did not own all her music, and this guy owned everything. And like he could say, "Screw you guys, I'm not playing with you guys on a stage," and he would still have a career. You know, like
Mhm.
he fired his dad, hired John Branca, who is still working with him, kind of because he was executive producer of the film. Like this guy, he could do whatever he wanted, creatively speaking, and do a lot for the film and music industry. Like I think Taylor Swift is interesting, but like for example, that music video she did with Sadie Sink, maybe without Michael Jackson, she doesn't do that.
Exactly. No, I do agree with that. And I mean, I'm not going to say he was perfect. He worked with pretty scummy people. Like, again, his last album, he worked with R. Kelly. And I mean, he was associated with Jeffrey Epstein, which does lead a lot to credences about them. But I don't think anybody knew the kind of guy he was.
Well, half of Hollywood is in the associated with
Epstein
Jeffrey
files.
Epstein. Yeah, like I mean, supposedly there's a conspiracy theory that he was saving children. Some people say that, right? But
Yeah.
like, as far as I know, nothing has came out of him regarding the Epstein files. Has it?
I don't think so.
Like, I know he is in them, but I don't know if he's in them badly, if you know what I mean.
Yeah. I don't think so. He's in like two photos, but
I
no,
mean,
he's not in there badly like some of the other people.
everybody's in those photos.
Oh, yeah. A
I mean,
simple.
everybody that was alive at that time and that happened to be a major celebrity. Even Elon Musk is in those files,
Yeah, like
but
that.
not in a
That tells
photo.
you. But just
Yeah.
no, brilliant. Like Thriller is still the best-selling album of all time. Like
Still,
already, still like no one's come close to beating it. Like it's incredible. Even streaming, it's still like one of the best of
oh
all time.
boy, and it's about to blow up again.
Oh yeah, no, it's already blowing up. Like you go on Spotify, all of his films is sorry, all of his albums are like charting in one way or another.
Yeah. Which is your favorite song?
Again, I would have to pick Human Nature as my
Human
favorite.
Nature.
Yeah, because
Okay.
such a good song. But I mean, I'd also throw in Beat It and Man in the Mirror and Black or White. I was never really a thriller guy. Like I just always associate with Halloween.
Well, it's funny because in the film they allege that he watched Night of the Living Dead by George A. Romero, and that's how he got inspired.
Oh yeah, The Fly, and there was also House of Wax with Vincent Price that
Which
shows up
is
briefly.
interesting. For me, I have to go classic Billie Jean.
Billie Jean, yeah, that's a good one, honestly.
I mean, that's
Um,
where he debuted the moonwalk.
yeah,
So it doesn't get as iconic as that.
yeah,
Although
no, it
Beat It
really,
is more rock heavy.
yeah,
Like the guitar riff is much more rock and roll than Billie Jean. Billie Jean feels more poppy.
it does. But it's also crazy too that when you go on the Thriller Wikipedia, in a rarity, all the songs have a Wikipedia page. That's never
That's
happened.
crazy.
I've never heard that before from anyone. Like that just
Good for
tells you
him.
that. Yeah, really good for him. Dirty
Yeah.
Diana, Leave Me Alone. There's just too many classic. This guy is
So,
um
so
just
Man
gonna
in the
do
Mirror is post the ending of the film then.
yeah,
Oh,
that
so
will
they can
come.
still use it
Oh
for
yeah,
the sequel.
absolutely. I do hope this gets a sequel with its money because I do want to explore that other aspect of his life, like some of the darker stuff that's not always well literally black and white. So the more gray aspects that this film sets up.
Yeah. Let me ask you something. Do you think he could still be a solidified artist if he would still be alive today?
I mean, he was planning to. I mean, this is it. The film that came out that year was essentially going to be a frequency of concerts that were in London, and then he died before they could happen. So, I mean, he probably would have been coming back on and off like around this time.
Yeah, because I think John Branca, his manager, said that he's still the best touring artist when it comes to money. Like
Yeah,
he criticized that now tours last like 2 3 years. Like the what's her name, the Taylor Swift tour that lasted like years. Like it
the
almost felt like
Aerosmith
that thing lasted. Yeah, the Eras tour.
forever.
He criticized that he would have 16 weeks and they would be very solid and that would sell out and you know, he would make the same amount of money because tickets were cheaper back then and now they would be more expensive. And even though it's less time touring, he would actually be a real tour, not in a yearly commitment of performances. John Branca said something around those lines, which I think it's interesting how a tour were like 10 weeks and now it's like 3 years. Sometimes
Yeah,
the city repeats itself.
it really does.
It's crazy, but I think it also shows how the entertainment has changed. But going back to that idea, in many ways, he was also a good showman person because the way he stages his concerts, again, without him, you might not have a stage concert for Taylor Swift. So I don't know. His influence is still felt for sure.
It really is. No. And yeah, I guess that leads into the movie now that we kind of talked about, our favorite songs and what we thought of them. So, what was your thought of Michael? I guess I'll
So let
start
me
with
ask
you.
you a question first, and I'll give you my answer, but I want to know your first answer.
Yeah.
So, this film has a lot of controversy because audiences love it, critics hate it for whatever reason. Which team are you, critics or fan?
I am definitely in the fan category. I get why critics reviewed it the way they did. They definitely said it was a glossy autobiography that, showed off his more positive side when I think they wanted something like they originally filmed with, the mention of the sexual abuse case. And if the movie included that, I think it probably would have been received fine by them. Me personally, I don't think it needed it. This was about the rise of Michael Jackson, his relationship with his father in particular, how he tried to break away, and what was the rise of him essentially. And
Hmm.
I do disagree too that the movie didn't explore aspects of it and just felt like, oh, he was imperfect and, you didn't really know nothing
He was
about
a
him.
Mary Sue.
He wasn't a Mary Sue. Like, he did have a lot of self doubt. His image, that scene where he got his nose job done. If you paid attention, his dad called him Big Nose when he was a kid.
Yeah, yeah,
Um,
yeah.
he couldn't go to school, so the only friends he really knew about were the animals, because his brothers grew up and they were a lot older than him. They had their own families, so he really only had them to play. And his mother. His mother was probably the only other friend he had. And it wasn't really family, it was work to them. They didn't go to school, they were always on tour. Like, he missed out on a childhood. So him as a young adult is basically him reliving his youth and him taking the time. And
Hmm.
I don't know, to me, I think his nephew Jafar really did capture what this guy was like, especially early on in his career. Because he's just really, like, I saw Michael Jackson a lot of the time. I didn't see like a performance, if that makes sense.
He was past our years, I guess. He
Yeah,
was in
I
that
mean,
period where he was retired.
he was
Well,
retired and a recluse, so
sabbatical. Yeah,
yeah.
he was not retired. But well, going back to your question, I really liked it. I think it's as I said earlier, it's similar to Bohemian Rhapsody. It shares a lot of its qualities. Jafar Jackson, I mean, he has to be nominated for sure,
Oh
at the
yeah.
very least. I don't know if being in April diminishes his chances, but I think the performance is fantastic. I mean, he is Michael Jackson. He doesn't personify, he becomes Michael Jackson. You know, he's not mimicking or uh, doing an impersonation. He becomes Michael Jackson in the quiet moments too. I think personally where the film struggles a little bit, it's not necessarily the third act being reshot or the fact that it doesn't have um, the controversial issues. Is that this feels like half of a story. I think that's where it struggles because I don't think those criticisms are warranted because the film never gets to that period of time. This is
Yeah.
before he gets alleged. But I think the film does set up those things for a potential sequel. You know, for example, we don't see him struggling with pills and with the drugs. And, you know, we are still missing some iconic performances like the Super Bowl, you know, like a lot of stuff that they could grab for a sequel for sure. And I think that's where they could do it. And they already set it up because, well, they have his obsession with Peter Pan and how he sees himself as Peter, you know, and how why he feels attracted to children in the sense that he sees them as the lost boys of Neverland, and how he sees his dad as Captain Hook,
Yeah,
which
that was a pretty funny moment.
but I mean, but it is funny, but in many ways, his dad is Captain Hook in the story.
Yeah.
So it's a metaphor that really works. I think if they do a sequel, this would feel more cohesive because this is half of a story. This is really about the Michael Jackson before everything went to shit, if you know what I mean.
Yeah, no, it's how people want to remember him. And what I do believe, this is how people were with him. Like, he was that beloved. It didn't feel like it was, oh yeah, they're just overhyping Michael Jackson. This is how he was as a person. Like, this
At
is
that
how
time,
at that time he was beloved. Everybody adored him. He broke barriers. And everybody in the cast is fantastic. Like, Miles Teller is his manager.
he's
His
just so randomly cast, but sure.
Yeah, that was randomly cast as Mike Myers. I had no idea going into this movie that he was going to be in it. That was a pretty hilarious bit.
Isn't
Like,
he also in Bohemian Rhapsody?
he is, yeah. But in Bohemian Rhapsody, that was the joke because he made that song iconic in Wayne's World, and he plays the opposite where, oh no, I don't believe this is great or this will not sell. Here, he's just the president of CBS to get it on MTV. So, in a sense, he helped Michael Jackson and Queen in two cases while looking as like Goldmember meets the Cat in the Hat. Really,
I wonder if he plays the same character.
maybe you should look that up actually.
It would be funny because that it means that they're part of the same cinematic universe of musical biopics.
So Graham King's just gonna keep casting Mike Myers and he's
As executive, yeah, he's. It's like the thing, it's like the Stanley of the MCU. He's the GCU, the Graham King Cinematic Universe of biopics. I mean, imagine if they broke the barriers and they have Freddie Mercury and Michael Jackson singing together.
that's funny. No, he was fun in it. I mean, it helps kind of tide over too for Shrek 5 when that gets released next year because I miss seeing Mike Myers in movies.
Yeah, I think the casting is really good. I think the film is good.
Domingo's another one that deserves a shout out for playing his dad. I thought, even though he always kept his mouth open.
Yeah, I mean, he played well. He played it like, he had, it was a reasonable performance, if you know what I mean.
Hmm.
Like, I don't think he struggled playing an asshole. For
No,
him,
no.
it was quite easy. Um, I also don't know if they tone it down, but at the same time, I think the film asks, did Michael needed that to become Michael Jackson?
Yeah, I
And
think so. It's a breakaway.
in a way, the sad thing about the film, if you want to see the meta side of it, is that the story is about Michael breaking free from being exploited by his family. Yet, the film is exploiting his image to profit his family. So it is kind of ironic, the story they're telling, yet the whole family is profiting out of this film.
Yeah, I mean they've been doing that for years though, let's be honest. And
Yeah, with the Broadway show too, but the Broadway show is very different to this movie.
mhm.
Like the Broadway show does delve into the addiction at the very least. Not to the kid stuff, but to the addiction. Yes,
Yeah, and that's the stuff I do want to see more in the sequel. Like I do want to see him explore that darker kind of, side of him, that
self-destructive.
self-destruction, his, like the Elvis biopic, I think would really be a good showcase to why, he became the way he did towards the end. Because
Would
it
you
is a
bring
bit of a
Antoine Fuqua back or a different director?
I think they'd bring him back. I mean, I couldn't see why. He did kind of what he needed to, and I think he
I
was
heard that
really,
he didn't came back for the reshoots.
really, huh.
Yeah, that apparently there were creative differences or whatever.
Well, if that's the case, that'd be too bad. But I hope he comes back because it would make sense to me. Just get the same director.
Bring Ryan Coogler.
Yeah, I mean, I think he's busy with Black Panther 3.
I have a feeling Michael Jackson is a way better project than Black Panther 3.
That I do agree with. I do
Like,
agree with that.
what are you going to do with Black Panther 3? I mean,
Um,
heck, he almost made 2 billion for like 1 billion for each film. So, what do
yeah.
I know?
The last thing I will say about this movie, it might actually be one of my favorite moments I'll see on screen, but towards the end, the final performances as the Jackson 5 and the end of the film with Bad. I saw this movie in ScreenX with like the
Uh,
additional screens. I do recommend if you can because human nature performance in particular near the end, that felt like you're actually at a concert. Like the way it was shot and felt, that was like so friggin' cool to witness. Like it felt like I was with all those people. So that scene alone is like a solid 10 out of 10, just brilliant. And the fact that it was his moves and a bit of his voice lending to the film's ending is just brilliant. Like brilliant
yeah,
stuff.
for sure. I think the only thing that I would criticize like harshly is that they didn't put like a comparison of Michael and Jafar in the credits.
Oh, that, yeah, I could see that. I could see.
You know how they played at the end of Bohemian Rhapsody, they played the Live Aid performance, but played by Queen, and you could see the real difference between how they did. I think that it was a missed opportunity to put a real clip of Michael Jackson and for us to compare Jafar and the performance.
Yeah.
Or similar to how they did with Elvis, that Austin Butler becomes the real Elvis.
Hmm.
Like, I don't know, I sort of felt that. they could have brought back Michael in that mantle, if you know what I mean.
No, I do, man.
I
But
think overall, do you think it'll make a billion?
I think it will. It definitely will.
That's a big win for Lionsgate.
Yeah, who needs it? I mean, what else do they have this year? Just Hunger
Hunger Games.
Games, and I guess they started shooting that other John Wick spinoff. Oh God, what's his name from Part Four? The one Donnie Yen plays.
Oh boy, that one I don't know.
Oh, geez.
To be
It's
honest,
gonna
I
come
don't
to
know.
me. It's gonna come to me. What was his name? Oh, Kane. Kane was his name.
But okay. I mean, it's a good movie, I suppose, but
Yeah,
they
and
need a
then
win desperately.
even though they had Universal's help to distribute it too, as well.
Yeah, internationally, yes.
Yeah, 'cause we got the Universal logo here. I'm not sure if you did as well.
You too? But isn't
Yeah,
that not for Canada?
I think US only distributed Lionsgate,
Lionsgate, yeah.
but
I mean,
everywhere else,
personally, I think it looks better with Universal.
yeah, I
It kind
agree.
of helps it, makes
Sells
it
it more.
feel more legit.
And I mean, between this and Mario, they had a stellar April. So, I mean, especially going into May when things start to get a little quieter. I mean,
I
what did we
mean,
have?
it's Devil Wears Prada.
Yeah, true.
That's the next big release, and then as far as I remember, it's Grogu, baby.
Yeah, well, that's starting
The
next
flop
week. We don't know that. They're starting marketing, but we can start discussing our
Star
Star
Wars.
Wars next
Oh,
week.
bruh, it's going to flop. It's like nobody cares about this movie.
Yeah, no, but like I said, we'll see what the critics say. I know they don't care about it, but it'd be funny if Michael Jackson was still in the top 10
Beating
box
it
office and beats it.
and beats it, dude. I think the critics are going to love Mandalorian and Grogu or whatever, but is it really the critics? I mean, we could do an episode about it, but I think the critics are uh, indeed harming the industry a little bit. Like,
Just a little bit.
did you heard the comments that apparently the Disney panel at Comic Con was full of influencers
Oh,
and the
really?
critics were angry? Like, I watched a clip on Twitter. I can send it to you for next week. Maybe we can discuss it. But they were saying that there were a lot more influencers than critics in Comic Con that felt more like Comic Con.
Really?
I think the idea of what is a critic and what is not a critic has been changing. And, for example, I get that it's your job to criticize movies, and everybody wants to be like Roger Ebert, but do you really need to be that harsh with a movie that will probably save the theaters or give them some breathing room?
Yeah, because
Like,
this movie's helping the box office quite a bit.
what
And
is
it's
the
pretty
point of being so harsh with a movie that it's made for popcorn? Movie theaters don't need that harsh criticism. Like, they just want people in, whether it's good or bad movies. I don't know if these reviews are helping or doing the opposite towards the health of the movie theater experience.
I agree.
So it's a very finicky line. I know for a fact they're going to say this Star Wars movie is the best Star Wars movie since the last Star Wars movie.
What you mean? Really? Like they think Rise of Skywalker was that good?
Well, it's like the Marvel meme. The new show is the best Marvel show since the last Marvel show that it's saving so many lives.
That's true.
Like, it's going to be that level of criticism. Maybe not. Maybe the movie's so bad that they're actually going to blow it. But what I'm saying is, critics don't really matter at this point.
No, no, they
I mean,
don't.
look at Michael Jackson. The critics were rooted as non-important. So,
Yeah. But we'll talk more about it next week when we start our Star Wars retrospective. So, for those tuning in, I was thinking, Andres, what we'll do is next week we'll talk about the original trilogy.
oh, we're
Um,
starting in order.
yep. Then the following week we'll do the prequels. Then the week before we'll talk about the spin offs and the Disney films, like the Disney trilogy.
Wait, what about the? Well, I guess the spin-offs is Clone Wars and all that stuff.
Oh yeah, Clone Wars, Rogue One, and Solo, and then
Rebels.
we'll end things discussing the Mandalorian, the TV shows, and then the movie that came out.
Oh
So,
boy, it's going to be a long day.
oh yeah,
it's,
it's gonna be a
it's
long period.
yeah. I was gonna say, did you ended up playing Mouse BI?
Yeah, no, I thought it was fantastic. Like,
You beat
really,
it already?
it's a short one. It's very, very short now.
Oh,
Yeah.
I haven't beat it. I'm playing that on Requiem, but Requiem is really good.
Is it?
I mean, I'm back at Raccoon City, and it's really good.
That's good.
It's very difficult, but it's really good, and it runs really well on the Switch. So if you like your handheld games, get it on the Switch. So
Definitely.
but are you ready to sign us out?
Yeah, man. Well, thanks for listening to our MJ retrospective and review. He's Andres Ramirez. You can follow him at Jaro2096. I'm the Zach Houston. You can follow us at Below the Line _ podcast. We're on Spotify, YouTube, Instagram, whatever social media handle you can find. As always, thanks for listening. And yeah, we'd be starting something good.
Well, may the force be with you, or
Yep.
beat it.
Yeah. See you
Bye
next week for
bye.
a Star Wars retrospective. Bye bye.